These are subjects I like to talk about. I like to talk about the medical mafia. I like to talk about alternative healing. And I like to talk about the fundamental nature of the universe. Dr. Len Horowitz, we're going to talk about his new code, his new Da Vinci Code. It's called 528. 528 hertz. It's a tone. We're going to talk about water and sound and how this whole thing unravels into what he feels is a profound theory on how things work and how we can actually change the world. For those of you who don't know, Dr. Len Horowitz is internationally known authority for overlapping fields of public health, behavioral science, emerging diseases, and natural healing. Over the past 30 years, he's become a best-selling author, educator in consumer protection, alternative and complementary healing, and much, much more. And his latest effort is this 528, the evolving consciousness. Music, he states, is the universal language. Love is the universal healer, and water is the universal solvent. You put them all together, and you have the best-kept secret in history, something so profound and so liberating to the human consciousness that it could very well hasten a spiritual renaissance. Translate into this vibration.
Well, there's actually 9 core creative frequencies to the universe. We now know that there's a perfect circle of sound. We now know from NASA recordings that the sun is actually beaming 528 hertz as kind of a central frequency within it, and that among those 9 core creative frequencies, we find the original musical scale.
Yep.
Well, the Pyramid of Giza, when you analyze it, you've got 528 intimately connected to the sacred geometry of the pyramid. You also have 5,280 feet in a measured mile. You wouldn't have that without 528.
Okay.
The kingdom of heaven is near, and there's nothing missing, nothing broken in the kingdom of heaven. It's perfect. And in fact, in physics terms, these kingdom of heaven concept is in this quantum field, as I mentioned, and there's parallel dimensions right here, right now, in which the angels operate, in which the Holy Spirit flows, in which now we can have these kinds of miraculous healings. Gravitational wave of the universe, which he said has specifically 6 nodes. And those nodes, if you look at the center of those 6, you've got the do, re, mi, and then the fa. And the mi, miragistorum, as I mentioned in Latin, and the fa, familitorum in Latin, is the miracle family. So the miracle family is really at the heart of this Marco Rodin et al. Determined musical mathematical matrix of creation. So really it's at the heart of everything.
Well,
That the physics world calls the quantum field, the words, which are sounds, which are frequencies. Mathematics was spoken, let there be light, and out pops the sun. And that's very similar to the model that dolphins display when they sonically vibrate underwater bubble rings up to about 5,000 degrees, and through this process that science calls sonoluminescence, light actually comes out of the water. So it's fascinating to realize that these sacred sounds are inherent in particularly the vowels, A, E, I, O, U, which is consistent with all the different languages.
okay, nature uses these frequencies and how we're trying to tap in on perhaps what Mother Nature already knows. You're listening to
Concept that we're talking about from the beginning. You know, there's good and evil in the universe, and that evil is part of nature. It's part of what God's created. And, well, if you can suppress spirituality, human creativity, consciousness, awakening, and really love, and then put people into fear and make them dependent, I mean, that's really what ties 9/11. I mean, that's
polarizing instead of unionizing.
Exactly.
Well,
he distilled it all into 2 simple things about love. You love the Creator with all your heart, soul, and might, and then you love each other as brothers and sisters. And if you follow that principle, you've got miraculous healing is administered by basically 3 factors. The first is faith. You've got to have faith. The second factor is prayer. You got to have prayer, and then you have this faith is centered, as I mentioned earlier, in your heart. You have to have heartfelt, loving intention to have healing, to have a blessing bestowed. It is the answer. That's why it's the key, the musical note that opens all the doors for the spiritual renaissance.
And all other beings of light are piercing that light. As I now merge with my beloved, I am present, fire of divine love, the highest line that I am, within the cosmic heart of my Compilation in the 8-8 gateway. Surrounded in the sacred, pink-gold and copper-gold flames of divine love and universal peace, I now find myself on the unity grid of divine love, connected to the light workers, star-seated ones, and all the beings of light from on high, assisting in this golden age of life. I now connect to the group I am Avatar Consciousness of Light, experiencing the unified heart Merkaba activation to the overlighting of Lord Michael, Lord Metatron, and Lord Melchizedek. As the star tetrahedron activates within my original divine 8-cell blueprint, I clear the karmic timelines no longer necessary to experiencing this golden age of light, rescinding and breaking any and all vows and contracts created in this lifetime or any other lifetime,